back to the quest Locked Ironman. The Ironman that I've started off as hardcore, and the plan is to get to a max cape without finishing or really even starting any quests. I understand along the way there may be an accident where I accidentally start one, so I plan not to finish any of them. If I do accidentally start one, it's not going to ruin the account. This episode is not going to be a whole lot of exciting things. It's going to be mostly all theory crafting and trying to decide what my best course of action is for everything along the way. Let's just jump right into it. To start, here are all of my skills. I have 5 attack, 6 strength, 30 defense, 7 range, 32 prayer, 58 magic, 67 rune crafting, 23 construction, 73 dungeoneering, 24 archaeology. This is really testing my skills of remembering the names of the skills. I still call this hit points, or 46 hit points, or constitution. 30 agility, 37 herb lore, 35 thieving, 40 crafting, 58 fletching, 11 slayer, 6 hunter is my lowest right now, the skills I have unlocked, but also the skill that I dislike the most, it seems like. 34 divination, 70 mining, 74 mining, 70 smithing, 57 fishing, 53 cooking, 59 fire making, 67 wood cutting, 35 farming, 7 summoning, and then I still have an invention unlocked. And as I've sat and thought about this, there's a lot of things that I've really been trying to nail down. And after looking at all the skills that RuneScape has available, everything that I have available to me that I can understand and kind of pull together at this point, I really feel like getting this invention unlocked is going to be super, super important. So we can start to take a look at all of the skills that we have left from there and how to work on them and what's going to be my best plan of action. So as we learned a little bit earlier, I'm going to need to get 21 summoning so I can actually buy that charming imp. I have 100 tokens, I think a little bit more right now as I record this, and there's a long list of items that I'm going to want to buy with dungeoneering, so that's going to be very, very important for this account to tackle. So if I set aside the 100k tokens that I have for the charming imp, it still leaves me with a lot of stuff that I'm going to want. I'm going to want the bone crusher, so I don't have to bury bones. I'm going to want the, that's 34k. For 20k, I'm going to want the scroll of cleansing, which helps save secondaries in herb lore. But first, I need to get 49 herb lore. I'm not too far off that, so I'm going to want to kind of tuck away 20k tokens for that. Another 20k tokens is the scroll of proficiency, which I need 60 construction for, which, surprise, surprise, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm going to need money for that. And then I'm going to need another 20k tokens for the scroll of dexterity. That's going to help you with crafting. I'm going to need 60 crafting for that. I'm going to want another 20k for the gem bag upgrade. And that's going to be super important because that's going to help me out on a lot of things. And I'll kind of get more into that a little bit. And then I'm going to want 34k for herbicide, which will help clean up some drops, and then later I'll want to upgrade it with some beans from the player farm, which I've already started. And then beyond that, since I'm already talking about 25k beans, I'm going to want another 25k beans just to get the seedicide upgrade, and I'm going to need to get the base of that from Cabbage Face Punch, which I haven't even started. So we're looking at an additional 148,000 dungeoneering tokens that I'm going to need to get on top of what I already have just to get the base items that I want. So that's going to end up being 248k or whatever, but I'm almost halfway there. So there's going to be a lot of dungeoneering that still needs to happen in this account, and I feel like the sooner I put it into this grind, the better it's going to be. Some of the other things that I might want later on is the Scroll of Life, which has a 10% chance to save seeds while planting from farming. Currently, I'm not really doing much of that because I am not doing combat to get seeds or any other way to get seeds. And then I may also want the 5k or the 15k each combat necklaces for magic, range, and I forget if it's attack or strength that you can get through dungeoneering. So I guess to break down these skills a little bit more, let's actually just take a look at what we have available for are combat ones. And so for these combat ones, I am also including Slayer. I understand that it won't affect my combat level, but it's going to affect what I do in combat, in the sense that I really don't have a good way to train this unless I do some type of combat. My options pretty much are I can do quests, which I'm not going to do, or I can in Menefos you can smash those little green guys and get experience from that, which I'm not going to do because I have to get quests to do that. And then my third option would really be for this account is to do Rings of Recoil, which I'm not going to do. So I'm really just going to have to be doing Slayer tasks or anything else that will give me Slayer experience that I can find along the way. I understand there's probably penguins and all those things, but that's not going to give me decent experience. So that's why I've lumped it in with this. I'm going to have to do some type of combat, gain some type of combat experience to level up that skill. So we're just going to kind of push that one off into the background. It will get raised up as other combats get raised up. Summoning is kind of along the same path, except for I'm going to need a lot of money for summoning, and I need it to 21 so I can get that stupid Charming Imp. And as you can see, I've kind of focused a little bit more on magic than the other ones. I've been burying bones in dungeoneering and anything else that I do outside of it. Currently, I have 58 magic. My goal is to get 60 so that I can get the Gothic's God Staff. Go do that minigame, which I've never done before, so that should be very interesting. Unlock that. Run out to the wilderness in my hardcore Ironman. What I think I'm going to actually do is I'm not going to buy an extra life if it's available. I'm going to go out there and see how it goes. I hate to kind of pay for my one life and lose it right away, so it's just going to risk it right away. 32 prayer, which I've gotten, as I stated, from burying bones along the way, which has been great and very useful. As it raises up, I'll get better and better prayers that I can use. 30 defense. The only reason I got up to 30, not much higher, is because I really am not sure how to get all the armor for magic at this point, so I figured just keep it kind of low. Don't really mess with my combat level at this point, and attack it once I get a little bit higher magic. So once I get 60 magic, then there's going to be, the more and more magic levels that I'm going to need along the way. I'm going to touch a little bit on that as I go through these other skills. So some of my next skills that I'd actually want to take a look at is what we need to do to unlock Invention. And those are, it's an elite skill, so I'm going to need 3 other skills. And a lot of things kind of hinge on that, so these are the ones that I feel like I need to focus on right now at this point. Those 3 skills are obviously smithing, which is 70, crafting, which is 40, and divination, which is 34. Once I get all of those to 80, I'll be able to unlock Invention. And then Invention I can kind of pair with a lot of these other skills that I currently have. So I really need to get these up to 80, and 70 is real close for smithing. I got 10 more levels to go. That's not really a big deal. I think I need to mine 22 or 2400, something like that, of the current ore, and I've got a couple hundred of each, and so with my nearly 75 dungeoneering, I'm really going to need to get that up to 75 as well, so that I can unlock that Al-Kharid resource dungeon, get in there, mine some stuff in there, so I don't have to walk as far, and I really don't have to risk my Iron Man life in the wilderness. The 40 crafting is really going to be, I'll get a lot of that through the gem rocks, which are right there in Al-Kharid, and I'll also be getting a lot of experience through the urns. And the reason I want to get the urns is because I can make various urns that will help me out. Rune crafting is one of them that kind of really jumps out right now, and so is Hunter. Those skills I'm not really going to be getting a whole lot of resources. Well, let me backtrack that. Rune crafting early on, or even until I raise it up to 90, I probably won't be getting any resources from. There's not a whole lot of talismans that I have access to, especially since I'm not really killing anything. So doing rune crafting through RuneSpan is going to be my best option. So that's kind of why I'm focusing on gems and urns. Once I actually get my first Dragonstone gem, which is going to be super exciting, I'll be able to unlock the ability to make at least one Dragonstone item. Hopefully I'll get another one, and be able to get the necklace or actually the amulet, and the ring. That way with the ring I'll be able to teleport around. The only issue is I'll be able to get the crafting quickly, it's just then I'll be pinned down with the magic again. I think I'll need level 68 to enchant it, which won't be a big deal once I get that staff, but currently I'm rocking out the air staff for level 1, so that's pretty painful. And so both of those two for the elite skill both tie back to mining, because I have to mine clay, I have to mine gems, I have to mine ore. So my mining is going to get higher and higher as I try to unlock this skill. But then the third one of this is divination. As I've kind of looked at divination, I hate the minigame. Well, I don't hate it. Yeah, I hate it. I don't know why, I just don't like throwing the memories in the little circle and becoming the crests. I feel like everybody just gets out of sync, and people just want to go for the most optimal for the very second that they are playing the game, and they don't look at the overarching mini game of itself, and you just have two people active, and you kind of split down the center, and you do your thing from there. I've played a few games like that with people, and those are the best games. It's the one where you wait for two people to get done, and then you become crest, and then for some reason the person immediately hits the destroy all and it knocks them all down, and then you're both standing there like idiots, even though there's two people before you split down the center, and then it just... Anyways, so I'll be doing this the slow way to unlock this. Not really a big deal, because there are a lot of things that you unlock with divination, and a lot of things that I feel will be very useful for me while I unlock divination. And most of that is going to be porters. Porters are going to be super useful for a lot of other skills that I'm going to be doing. And so that's why I really don't plan on doing the minigame. I don't enjoy it, and the usefulness is actually doing that. It will help me unlock higher stuff, but also hinder me in the future, because I'll just have to go back and collect that energy anyway. So I might as well just collect it now and just do it the slow way. So once I get Invention unlocked, it's going to unlock the whole heap of skills. And so what I have left is I have some skills that I can kind of work on as standalone skills while I'm kind of working on Invention, because they don't hinge as much on unlocking the Invention skill, because Invention will help me greatly in a lot of other things. Yes, having Invention unlocked while I do all of these skills will be very, very useful, but it's not going to be I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot useful. Those skills are obviously Dungeoneering. You really can't do much of any Invention in there that I'm aware of. There's Construction. I don't think you can really do much of anything. I mean, you can make flat packs, you can destroy them. I guess you could do it in that way, but I probably won't do that in any way, shape, or form. There's rune crafting and rune span. I don't really think it's going to be all that helpful later in the game if I actually decide to craft, my own runes, which I probably will have to. Some of the perks, or that you put on your weapons and stuff like that, like mobile, that will be helpful. So I'll probably be doing that later on. Farming, which I've already started with player-owned farms, that is kind of a very, very much standalone for me. And I feel like I'm taking player-owned farms in its own little path as well, because I've prioritized unlocking the second small pen, and I tried to unlock the medium pen, and I found out I needed 40 construction for it, but for me to get that I need money, and I have 3,000 gold, so 3,000 gold is not going to get me from 23 to 40 construction. So I've now prioritized being able to breed within the small pen. That way I can get rabbits going. It's not a whole lot of beans, but it's continual beans, and I really don't have to do a whole lot for it. As I save up beans and unlock other stuff, and then get through this initial grind of unlocking Invention, I'll be able to bank more money into construction and be able to work on that a little bit more. And then that leaves the other two skills, and that's agility and thieving, 30 and 35. So these for me currently are actually kind of a paired skill, as odd as that kind of is to hear from a player from long ago, is I need, I think, a few levels in agility. How many is it? 10, I think. And then I think I need 5 or 10 more in thieving as well. And what that will do for me is it will unlock the ability to quad loot from ham members. And then I'll be doing that probably for a while to actually build up my thieving level. And then I'll end up going back to Anachronia a little bit more to beef up that agility level. Once I get up to 40, I'm kind of happy where I'm at. The reason that I want to do ham, and this kind of pins back to the invention, is unlocking ham is going to unlock my ability to do easy clues. Once I have easy clues, I can obviously do easy clues. Finishing those easy clues will net me those sweet fortunate components. And that's why I really want Invention. Not just that, but there's going to be other items along the way. But those fortunate components are then going to allow me to make various items that I'm going to want. And one of them that I think will be super useful for this account, because I am lazy, let's just put it straightforward. I don't want to do any quests, so what else can you explain for that? Is I want the Grace of the Elves, and I want that thing bad. I don't want to have to walk to the bank when I'm woodcutting a million trees. I don't want to have to walk to the bank when I'm fishing, thousands of fish or whatever. I got the pet finally on my main. It took 69 million experience. I don't want to have to go through all that again, so just be done with it type of idea. So those are my leftovers, my kind of leftover standalone skills. So my other skills that I have, my extra dependents, I believe is what I called them. And these are kind of skills that I need, but also rely on other skills. And that is archaeology, fletching, herb lore, mining, fishing, cooking, fire making, and wood cutting. And so these are they are very dependent on a lot of other skills. And so let's just knock herb lore out of the way right away. Herb lore is going to be very dependent on combat for this account, and that's for the sole fact that I'm going to either need seeds to be growing stuff, or I'm just going to need to get herbs. And I'm trying to take care of that currently. I'm working on Herby Werby for the upgraded herb bag, but that's a long process, and obviously I really don't have much of combat skills, so that one's out of the way. The other one is archaeology, and I kind of just put that off to the side because in the future, once I get Hunter up, I'm going to have access to a Dragonmatic, which then I can perk up with Invention. So I feel like I can kind of do it a little bit, but I can't really do it too much. And I'm also going to want the auto screener really bad before I get too far into Invention, or archaeology. 2 new skills for me. Once I get to archaeology, so I can do it a little bit, but a lot of it is hanging on Invention. So that's kind of why I call it an extra dependent. It's not fully dependent on Invention, but as I get halfway into the skill, like number wise, not even experience wise, it's going to depend on me having Invention, and it's going to depend on me having Hunter levels. And so some of the other levels, obviously, mining is kind of an extra dependent with all these other skills because I'm going to be working on it to work on smithing. I'm going to be working on it to work on crafting some. But the oddity with mining, if I remember right, there is not a single pickaxe that I will have access to augment at all. So it's not reliant on Invention in any way, shape, or form. It's just I'm going to be using it for other skills. Some of the other ones are fishing, which is going to be reliant a little bit on Invention because I'm going to want the Rotomatic at some point, but then it's also going to be paired with cooking. So I feel like cooking is going to need to wait on fishing, which is going to need to wait on Invention, and so cooking is going to give me a lot more better food, so combat may have to wait a little bit. And that leaves me with the last 3, which is wood cutting. I will have access to the Dragon Axe. I believe I might. there's a small chance that I could, and so that's going to get very interesting on this, is can I get a death task, or can I get the Dagonoth mask that will allow me to teleport without actually completing the quest to be able to teleport there or take the boat there. I went to try to take the boat. The guy told me heck no, so I just kind of beat it from there. So that's why I'm kind of waiting on woodcutting to see if I can somehow get access to that dragon axe. There is another way, but the chances of it are very, very low. So low that it's in the same boat as the dragon pickaxe, and that is from the Triskelion keys. There's a chance that I could get one or two of those items, but I think it's so rare that it's not even worth hoping for. And so obviously I'm going to need to woodcut so that I have items to fletch. And so that's also the same kind of thing with construction. There is the option once I get a higher Slayer level that I can fletch those things, but in the whole grand scheme of things, that's still dependent on that other thing. I guess I should have thrown construction in this group as well for that reason. So that's kind of what I have going on for those items. These are all the skills that I currently have. That is my current game plan on stuff, is to really focus on Invention and Dungeoneering, because Dungeoneering is going to give me the tokens that I need to unlock stuff. And so first of all, I will try and get 75 Dungeoneering so that I can get the Al-Kharid resource area open, so it will allow me to do quicker mining so that I can get my smithing up quicker. And then I'll be focusing a lot more on unlocking Invention, getting the divination, crafting, and smithing up to 80. I have that 100k tokens for the Charming Imp. I believe I should have enough to upgrade my gem bag. What I'll really want is actually to upgrade the Bone Crusher, so hopefully by the time I get 75, or maybe a little bit after, I'll have that 34k. And then I'm going to need to wait on the Herblore construction and crafting levels to unlock the other stuff. What I'm doing currently with crafting, I'm not going to need that Scroll of Dexterity, so I will probably wait on that and just save myself some time in Dungeoneering. So pretty early on, I have 100k tokens banked. I think I might have near 120. But I'm really going to want to get 154k, so I'm probably really going to have to hit Dungeoneering just for part of an evening to actually unlock Bone Crusher. Once I get that, then unlocking everything else along the way. When I want to do combat, I'm going to be a lot happier about it, because I'm not going to have to clean up the bones. I'm not going to have to pick them up and bury them. When I have the Charming Imp, I'm not going to have to pick up charms as well, so everything will go a little bit smoother once I get these initial things unlocked and along the way. So that's my plan currently, is to just really focus in on getting those last few tokens and then getting my skills to 80 so that I can unlock Invention and really just have some fun with that, because then that's going to open up all the other skills for me, and then I can start training basically anything and everything, and I won't feel like I'm locked down as much. I know I'm going to have a lot of things that I'm locked out of, and that's really why I'm trying to focus early on unlocking as much content as I can possibly. So that's really what I have for my plan. I know it seems kind of outlandish or crazy, but I just figured I would talk everybody through it and also talk myself through it, so I actually have a plan to stick to and not just bounce around like a child. So thanks for your time, guys. This has been great to actually sit down and theorycraft this and plan all this out. Next episode will actually be a true episode. It will have progress along with it, and I'll be able to share with you guys some of the things that I do, and we'll actually be able to find out if I actually make it and get that Gothic staff on my single life, or if I am no longer a hardcore after that one. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.